Welcome back to A Week in Trucks. This week we have some exciting news about LDV. That's right, you heard me right there, LDV. We've also been to Malcolm Group to see their new longer semi-trailer, and we've been logging in Finland. I'm George Barrow, and this is A Week in Trucks. Everyone always says it's only a matter of time before Chinese van and truck manufacturers start making gains in Europe. Up till now though, European manufacturers had nothing to worry about. Everything we've driven has been pretty mediocre. However, will a trip to see SAIC Maxus in Shanghai prove otherwise?
Just over a decade ago, I was invited to Sheffield for the launch of the all-new, long-awaited Maxus, the LDV Maxus. 3 years later, I was in Russia for the Moscow Motor Show for the GAZ Maxus, and now it's reborn, and I'm in China with the SAIC Maxus.
LDV is owned by SAIC, the massive Shanghai Automotive Industrial Corporation. They're a Fortune 500 company and employ 200,000 people. They own MG Rover and produce a staggering 6 million cars per year. Now though, they've teamed up with Dublin-based importer Harris Group, and they'll be bringing LDVs into the UK. First on our streets will be the LDV V80, a heavily re-engineered Maxus. Will Shires took it for a spin on SAIC's test track. A very brief spin.
Well, I'm driving a 2015 Maxus, the SAIC Maxus. Just like our old one, but better. I quite like it actually. This isn't the best test track though, it's just a big straight line, but it goes well on a straight line, I can tell you that. Accelerates nicely, brakes are good, it's comfortable. Yeah, if it's priced right, I think it will sell well as well.
Perhaps more exciting though is what's going to follow the V80. LDV will be producing a brand new G10 panel van. It's an all new design and will be available next year. Take a closer look. When it goes on sale at the end of 2016, the G10 will be powered by SAIC's very own 1.9 litre diesel, as seen in its MGs. We reckon it's quite a stylish van, and if it's priced right, it should sell well. The exterior styling is certainly very European. This is an Australian van and comes with an automatic gearbox, but ours will have a 6-speed manual. The interior is quite smart, the only thing that lets it down is the shiny plastic dash, but hopefully they'll take our feedback on board and fit the dash with an MPV version instead. Apparently they'll be launching a pickup truck at the Beijing Motor Show next year. There'll also be a new V80 platform, which will go from 3.2 to 7 tonnes launched in 2018. If I was a European manufacturer, I'd be a little bit worried. We have an early Christmas present for you now. Have you ever wondered how the millions of real Christmas trees that we bring into our homes each year get to the farms, roadsides or shops that we buy them from? Well, here's how. Operators like McCallum Haulage in Scotland play a small part in the UK's huge real Christmas tree market, shifting up to 16,000 Scots pine trees in the annual run-up to Christmas. That's about 16 loads using a DAF XF Super Space to pull a 45-foot Denison flatbed trailer, but is a tiny amount in comparison to the 6 million trees sold in the UK. We recently visited Malcolm Group to see their new award-winning STC engineered trailer to find out about the system and the new extended 50-foot container. Have a look at it in action. As a multimodal operator that's used both road and rail to move freight since 2001, it was frustrated by the unused capacity it had on the 24 trains it runs each week. Shipping containers commonly measure in at 45 foot, but the rail wagons the containers are placed on are longer at 54 foot. Working with a host of partners including Bootle Containers, it extended 40 containers to 50 foot. SDC then designed an extendable skeletal trailer to house the longer containers without any overhang. The trailer itself uses a manual winding mechanism which is locked by heavy-duty pneumatically operated pins. It is clearly a robust and wonderfully simple system, as you can see in the video. Malcolm Group has also called on politicians to increase the maximum weight limit governing the transportation of loads to railheads. Currently, the 44-tonne limit means that 34 tonnes of product can be loaded onto a rail container, but then 6 to 7 tonnes has to be taken off when you want to transport it by road. Finally, to Finland, where truck and driver editor Pip Dunn has been to the Arctic Circle to see just how the Scandinavians do their logging. This 104-tonne double-bottom 13-axle outfit hauls timber from collection points in the Ivalo area for transshipping onto trains. The special truck, currently the only one of its kind, does however have certain restrictions placed on it. It can only travel using one agreed route to the railway yard, and only 2 drivers are qualified to drive it. However, for every 2 loads it does, with a payload of 78 tonnes, it is the same as 3 loads on a standard Finnish 76 tonne drawbar combination. How they do the logging in Finland is really interesting, but if you want to read about that, you're going to have to wait until March for the issue of Truck and Driver to come out. However, don't forget that the Best of Trucks long distance diaries are still available, so go and pick up a copy of that. They're all really good reads. Even the one by Will is actually really good. You've been watching A Week in Trucks. Thanks for watching.